back to another episode of the Dragon's Den podcast. Today, we have Thai Guidry. Thai is a company officer in Wilmington, North Carolina. He was born and raised in Lafayette Parish, and he's also my cousin-in-law. I've known him for well over 20 years, and Thai has always been a guy that I've looked up to, even 20 years ago. He's a classic stoic Marine, chiseled jawline, dashingly handsome, and fit as hell. But more than that, I know him as a man of good character. He's humble, quiet, and treats his family with respect. He's graduated from North Carolina Breathing School, and he consistently signs up to do hard things. We had many more things to talk about, so I fully expect there to be a part 2, maybe the next time he's in town, next Christmas. Thanks for listening. Welcome to the next episode of the Dragon's Den podcast. Today we have with us Thai Guidry. Thai, you are in my orbit. Now, you're from Wilmington, North Carolina. You currently work in Wilmington, North Carolina. Yep. However, you are from here. The way that this podcast came to be is Thai is not a random guy. Thai is a cousin-in-law, I guess, to be a cousin-in-law.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so he's married to Lanice, who is the cousin to my wife, Molly, and Thai is from here, right? And Thai has been on my radar for about a year. I've been calling you about a year.
About a year now.
Yeah.
Yep. It was last Christmas we tried to get together.
That's true. So you were on my radar actually before that, but I said, man, let's just do it online. And you said, I want it to be face to face, and we were able to get this thing done right after Christmas. The reason I wanted to pull you in, Ty, and you already know most of this stuff, is you've been knowing Lanice you've been dating her since what?
We've been together since 2003.
Right. So 22 Christmases roughly. Me and you have run into each other. We've been knowing each other for that long because I've been in the family for 25 years. Mm-hmm. And the reason I want to pull Ty in is because for all these years that we've known each other, always knew that you were a cooler guy than me. Out the gates, man. He was a Marine. He was always bigger and stronger. I'd always size him up like, man, Ty is immediately cooler than me. And then what'd you do? You were a Marine, but then you went and jumped into the fire service. And I was like, oh, crap. He's going to be a better fireman than me. And so I was like.
Well, some of it, I joined some of it because of you. Talking to you and your stories about stuff. I was like, man, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But that's what, as you have progressed in your career, we've had some back and forth conversations, and I was like, man, I want to hear his story, because for the people that don't know, and this episode is about him, I promise. Is for the people that don't know, is that Ty does not talk about himself very, very rarely. In the 22 some odd Christmases that we've gone back and forth, I don't know a lot about your backstory. I don't know a lot about what you did in the Marines, and very little about kind of your progression through the fire service. Mm-hmm. And so I said, I know that he's got cool stories. I know that he's got something to say. It's just to get him in front of a mic and start talking. So once again, circling back, I'm glad that we're here and able to make that happen. So Ty, welcome to the program.
Man, I appreciate you having me. I'm glad we finally got to get together and just sit down and
chat. Yeah,
yeah.
So often the family is so big on that side that there's so many people to talk to. Very rarely have we been able to sit face to face and have some kind of a long form style conversation. So this is going to be kind of,
because all the women in the family. Lanice is one of 7 daughters, plus all their cousins. So when we get together, I mean, you can't get a word in edgewise.
Oh no, absolutely not. It's a mess. We kind of just stay quiet in the corner.
It's quiet. What you need.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly. So let's start down your path. You gave me one of the most detailed lists that I've ever gotten, which is good. Okay. You've got a lot of stuff to flow through. We always want to start. Usually we start with how you got into the fire service, but we'll back up a little bit and kind of let you go down your history, and then we'll eventually get to the fire service.
I'll say this right off the bat. Like, I never had any thoughts of the fire service growing up. Like, I know some guys that are like, man, when I was a kid, I knew I wanted to be a firefighter. I saw those red trucks. No thoughts about it. I always thought I was going to be a cop, which I'll get to that. I'm glad I didn't do that.
Sure.
But what kind of got me on that path starting off is, like, as a kid, like, I grew up in Carencro, just out in the swamps, middle of nowhere. So my dad worked offshore. My grandfather worked offshore. Like, my family dynamic, they love their kids. Mm-hmm. But looking back and just kind of seeing it from the perspective of being older, they were kids when they had us. Like my dad was like, he wasn't even 20 yet. So he still had a lot of stuff. He went from high school to being a dad. Same thing with my mom. They loved us, but they weren't like always the best parents, right? Drugs, alcohol, things like that. So they kind of raised me half the time. My grandparents kind of raised me half the time. Like just a weird kind of family dynamic where we had to be very self-sufficient as kids, right? But one of the things, and this kind of shaped my personality going forward, I love like this is gonna sound pretty nerdy. I love Saturday morning cartoons, Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joes, Power, all that stuff.
Yeah, same.
And to be honest, like as a kid, like I can see like these are heroes doing cool stuff, like helping people. They've got like a code of ethics they live by. And I look at my family and I'm like, man, they don't emulate any of this stuff. But I picked up 2 lessons from Saturday morning cartoons. One, I knew I want to help people. I guess I want to be a hero as a kid. You know, everybody wants to be Batman, Superman. And back in like the early 90s, all those cartoon characters were jacked. Like, there was no fat Ninja Turtles, right? Or fat G.I. Joes. I was like, I want to help people and I want to stay fit.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of shaped some of the stuff like who I want to be like growing up. So I always did things like in school, like I wrestled throughout my entire high school career, which was actually super great martial arts. And it was like all things to keep me focused because it's very easy in the environment we grew up to go down like that path of, Karen Crow, you're bored all the time, right? Alcohol was super easy to get. I remember being 15 years old, taking my dad's truck to the daiquiri shack and picking up half a gallon of whatever he would sell me.
Sure.
15 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it was, looking back, I could have gone like 2 directions really. And I'm glad just with cartoons raising me mostly, I went a path where I'm like, man, I want to be someone with some character and integrity when I grow up. My grandfather was in the Marine Corps, which is what got it on my radar. I would ask him stories about it, his time in. He was the guy that I always looked up to. He was like the one positive role model. He was quiet and he worked hard. Mm-hmm. And he was always there. If I needed him, he was there. He raised me and my brothers half the time, like, because if my dad was offshore, because he worked sometimes 7 and 7s or 14s and 14s. And so a lot of times he was kind of out the picture.
So Saturday morning cartoons kind of shaped you a little bit to some degree. And so you managed to stay pretty clean through high school.
Yep. I've never done drugs. I mean, as a kid, obviously we drink a ton, but
sure.
It's just high school and learning what to do and how to act.
Pretty standard kid stuff.
Pretty standard kid stuff, right?
And so now you're on the other side of high school and you're trying to figure out where you headed.
So before I finished high school, I got myself emancipated. So I was 16 on my own, which is actually how I ended up going to Como, right?
Okay.
So I worked at, I don't even know if it's still around here, S&K Menswear at the time.
I don't know.
But I was on my own. I had to find a place to live. I found a place to live with an older couple. I lived in Lafayette. He had like cerebral palsy or something like that. He needed help around the house. Mm-hmm. He's like, hey, I'll let you stay in a room. You help me on the weekends. You can go to school, whatever. Mm-hmm. I was like, great. So that's actually how I ended up going to Como my last year and meeting Lanice. It was my senior year. And then after that, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I'd always thought about like going into the Marines, but I was like, I
want to back you up real quick.
Yeah.
2 years you spent with that couple?
Roughly? Year and a half.
Do you think that formed up some, I don't want to say leadership, but like responsibility, sense of service? Do you think that kind of built up some of that, or it was more of like a means to an end?
So at that time, like that summer, is when I got emancipated. The church I was going to at the time, which is Our Savior's Church, which is not far from here. Sure. They took me in for the summer. They basically said, hey, we need some guy to do like lawn care. Mm-hmm. It's like, we'll give you room, board, food. If you just cut the grass. 16-year-old kid. I was like, yeah,
easy.
I can cut the fields all summer, get a nice little tan, get some food.
Yeah.
I'm in. And then meeting more, I don't know, morally ethical people there, talking to them. That's kind of where my faith started there. So it was unlearning some bad habits and then trying to pick up more good habits. And that sense of service there, because started helping with like a kids church and stuff like that. And that was a ton of fun. And they do outreaches and stuff. I'm like, man, this is pretty good. And then when that opportunity came along to stay with them, that kind of solidified a lot of that.
Okay.
So like helping him out on the weekends, cutting his grass, washing his car,
little house projects,
a little bit more responsibility that I had. Like in Carencro, they didn't care what I did. As long as I was out the way, man, I was 12 years old with a little crack barrel shotgun, like shooting anything that moved. Like they just go out, just don't bother me, right?
Oh, sure.
So doing that and working, and I had met Lanice at the time. Like that was kind of why I held off on going to the military, like right off the bat. I knew I wanted to go. Like I knew, I didn't know what I was going to do after, but I knew I wanted to go in the Marine Corps. But I waited a little while because I wanted to stay around with Lanice and develop that relationship more. And I ended up going to kind of like a Bible college for 2 years at the church, and mostly to stay around. And I did learn some great stuff and do some cool things, like, big things, serving homeless people and learning compassion and things like that. Like all good characteristics picked up from like that 2-year program.
Sure.
But it was getting to the point, I think I was 21. I was like, man, I got to do something more. Like if I don't go now, I probably won't go. And so I went to the office. I was like, hey, I want to sign up. He's like, well, let's take the ASVAB test. Because at the time, this is post Katrina. And so they were having floods of people signing up for the military. And half of them couldn't even pass the ASVAB.
Oof. So
I go in, do my test. He's like, do you have an idea what you want to do? I was like, I want to go in infantry. Like, I just want to be a knuckle dragger, man. I was a young kid, angry. You want to fight everything. I was like, let me just go and freaking get some.
Sure.
And so he's like, well, you can do anything. He's like, how about you do? I was like, nope, this is what I want to do. It was literally the lowest scoring thing you can get into. I was like, that's what I want. I mean, that's if you're going to join the Marine Corps, you might as well go infantry. That's what they're about. Everything else is just
right.
You're just admin.
Yeah.
So
I have no comment because I have no experience with this. So I'm just going to go with you on that one.
Yep. Like, I mean, if you want to go to the military and do cool stuff, and not disrespecting it, but like Marine Corps is a certain mentality. It's kill, kill, kill.
Right.
Like that's close with and destroy the enemy. Like, so if you go in and you're doing like supply, it's like, man, you could have went to the Air Force and had a much better time.
Sure.
In your military career.
I just want to say that Chris Scott respects all military members, even though they're just supply. Thai Guidry is the one that made the comments.
That's very true. You can not find me on Instagram or Facebook to harass me.
So, all right. So you go, all right. So we're ready to kill stuff.
Right? Go in, basic training, going through a bunch of stuff. And there was a part during basic where these guys from the Marine Corps, I think it was like a major and Secret Service came and they're like, hey, look, we're selecting a few of you guys to do presidential program. You have to be this height, this weight, no tattoos. Like you have to have a certain physical fitness score, certain shooting score, like the whole gambit. And I think at the time in the class I was in, there was only 3 of us that met that criteria. And so they're like, hey, you got reassigned.
Oh, they didn't ask you. It was more of a force.
Voluntold.
Yeah, voluntold. Okay.
Yep. And they're like, hey, if you want to get back into an infantry unit, because it's supposed to be like a 2-year contract, you do this, you're out, you're back in the infantry unit. You got to extend for a year. So I went in 4-year commitment. I was planning on doing my entire time. Like I was going to retire from the Marine Corps. because I was like, this is all I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So while I'm told, I go through boot camp, I go through the School of Infantry, I go through guard training and stuff like that, and then I'm stationed in DC for about 10 months while my security clearance comes through.
Mm-hmm.
And they tell you beforehand, they're like, hey, look, Secret Service is probably going to go where you used to live. They're going to talk to people. We need to kind of know everything about you on the front end. And so I was like, all right, well, I was like, you guys might not want to select me. Like, everyone in my family is a felon. Like, heavy drug use, selling, like, you're not going to find good quality people. I was like, I haven't done any of this stuff. But I just want to let you know.
You're going to find some stuff when you start digging.
Yeah. And they did. Like, they sent people here. They talked to old coaches. They talked to family members. They talked to the police officers in the area. Like, I had people calling me. They're like, hey, man, Secret Service just showed up in my door. Are you good? Like, they drilled me for like 45 minutes about you.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, that's good. That's what they're supposed to do,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Because they got to do a very thorough background check. Because the program that we're doing is like, you are next to the president with a loaded weapon. So they got to trust you, right?
Yes.
So thorough background check. And it took about 10 months for my clearance to come through, which is actually very quick. In that time, I spent in DC Marine Barracks 8th and I, which it was a cool spot. Being from Carencro, going to a big city like DC, that's it's kind of eye-opening. Having actually harsh winters with ice and snow, like I wasn't used to that.
Yeah.
So it was a cool place. It wasn't a fun place though.
Yeah.
Because like everywhere else in the Marine Corps, you've got your enlisted guys and they make up a bulk of the unit, right? Marine Barracks 8th and I, 2/3 of the people there are staff NCOs and above.
Mm.
So you're just a peon and you're doing like gate checks and stuff like that, waiting for your clearance to come through. And they hate you. They hate you. Like I say, hey, staff NCO, I was like, I got to check your vehicle. You got to get out. You got to stand over here. They're like, I just left. You know who I am. I was like,
I'm just
it's
doing
policy,
my job.
man. I'm just doing my job.
Sure.
And so after I'm off duty, they come back and they're like, hey, remember that time? I need you to strip and wax the floors. Like, it's just games. I was like, hey, I need you to take everything out of your room. I want a good, clean. I'm white gloving it. And they would. They'd come, white glove. Do it again.
Yeah.
But 10 months there, and then I was up at Camp David for about 3.5 years, which is a lot longer than they originally projected I'd be there. And that's just because the needs of the Marine Corps, right? At that time, we were in a war. They expanded the Marine Corps, and then we were ramping down. So they were shrinking it. So there was a lot less places for people to go. They're actually paying people to leave early at the time. They're like, hey, you can leave out about 6 months early if you want, a year, like, and you'd be good. So I ended up staying there 3.5 years. I was mostly there with the Bush administration. And then I was there the first 8 months of the Obama administration.
Mm-hmm.
So it was actually a ton of fun, man.
Right.
Like, I got to meet presidents. I got to shoot a lot up there. Now, I wasn't doing what I originally wanted to do.
Yeah.
Which is just
go
good
destroy
infantry stuff. And then, like, I always wanted to do special forces, right? Because that's like, hey, you want to be the elite. You want to go in there. You want to get after it. Like, you go there. So I spent 3 years up there, which is, like I said, it was great. Their workout facility, like our range, like everything. The guys were great. I did get in a little trouble up there at one point, and that was just, I didn't know a thing called like seasonal depression.
Mm-hmm.
And so just the bleak winter where everything's frozen, I didn't know at the time, but I was depressed. I was like, I don't know what to do, and just drinking all the time to stay happy.
Right.
And I remember one day like coming to work and I'm like, ooh, I'm still drunk. I probably should not. So I told Mike, I was like, hey man, look, I need to sit out today. I got in a little trouble for that.
Yeah.
But thankfully, like my first sergeant and stuff like that, he was kind of like, hey man, that's dumb.
Yeah.
We're gonna send you through some stuff, and then you can get some counseling, but you'll recover.
Right.
So,
And you did?
Yeah.
Bounce back.
Yeah, bounce back.
So you got a couple, before we hop through that a little bit, you said you got an Obama and a Bush story.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
We don't do politics, but if it's a good story, we got it.
It is. So President Bush, he is like kind of like a hardcore mountain biker,
Okay.
right? Like he loves doing bike ride. And in fact, we can ride bikes in the mountain because we're up in the Catoctin Mountains, right? So Secret Service rides with them. If you're good enough on the Marine side, you can ride with them. I'm not a mountain biker. There's no mountains in Louisiana, so I'm never hills and stuff. Not my thing. But we had guys riding. One day, he liked to bring guests out there and just smoke them on these trails. Just break them off, right?
I can't imagine Bush doing like tail whips off of hills.
So he got hurt pretty good one time, like going over the handlebars into a tree.
Allegedly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's dangerous. Like some of them, like 12-foot drops, like around the corner.
Sure.
Well, anyway, he brings his guests up here. I'm just at a static post, like standing guard somewhere, but I'm at a spot of 2 intersections. There's a downhill slope, and it goes flat, and then it goes down even further, and then there's an uphill one. Well, this his guest, he's an older gentleman. He's biking, and he like just bites it right in front of me. I can't help him. I can't leave my area. Like, I watched this dude just skid across the gravel. He's on his legs. His leg is bleeding.
Oh man.
Complete. Like he just road rash.
Yeah, like Family Guy, just all
just
broken in 6 different ways.
He's like, I need somebody to come get me. I was like, I can't help you. All of a sudden I hear, woo! Bush is coming down the hill screaming, and as he doesn't slow down, nothing. If you ain't bleeding, you ain't biking, boy. Whoa. And he's gone, right? I'm there. I'm dying, laughing. I was like,
He left him.
that's pretty funny. I'll give this back. Like, I know everyone's got their thing with him or whatnot, but every Christmas he would come up and he'd have dinner with us.
Oh, that's
he'd spend
nice.
time. Yeah.
If there's a video editor out there, a cartoonist that would like to recreate that, there's got to be one.
I'll never
that can
forget that.
redo that.
Never forget that.
Anyway,
So,
all right, I'm good. I think. All right.
that's probably one of my favorites. He was also he had a sense of humor too. So like SNL always made fun of him. Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Like what do you say, like strategery
Lord,
and stuff like that. He would make plaques and put it on his desk like that.
Okay.
But
I'm hot.
oh yeah.
All right, so Bush woohooing.
So like I said, I mostly worked at his administration.
Sure.
If he said he was going to be there at a certain time and place, he was always there. Good. When Obama came, he was a lot more loose. Right. But his thing wasn't mountain biking. It was basketball.
Sure.
And so there was a big court where we were at. And so we'd play basketball with him. He'd invite, it'd be like a team of Secret Service, a team of his cabinet, and then also Marines.
Yeah.
Right. And we played like pickup games and stuff like that. We had some guys that were pretty competitive, right? Marines were not known for just being like timid.
Pushovers, right?
Yeah. So my buddy, he was a baller back in the day. He played a lot of street ball. He's getting super competitive. I can't remember, one of his cabinet members used to be like a college player or something like that. I remember this is like the second game we ever played with him. We're going, man, and President Obama, he's going up for a shot. And my buddy, he jumps up and just smashes it straight into his face. Man, he goes down, everything freezes.
Stops. Yeah, immediate.
Like, man, it rocked him hard, right?
Right.
After that day, guess who couldn't play basketball anymore? Marines are not allowed here.
They shut all the Marines down.
Shut it down. Like, hey, I don't even see you guys in the court. And I'm not saying that was his decision, but somebody from his cabinet was probably like, nah, these guys, We're gonna play the Navy guys instead.
Right, or bring in some senators or
Yeah.
something that are a little older and slower, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to make them look good. Yeah. He took it pretty well though. He did. He was
did.
rocked, but he wasn't like
He got up, shook his hand.
Yeah, he wasn't going to blow up or anything, right?
Yeah, but the game was over after that. It's like, because everybody's getting pretty competitive.
Yeah.
But he did keep
kept
good
school.
humor about it. Yep.
Yeah, he's got a little swagger on him. All right, so we moved through the Marines. You
Yep.
did pretty much all. It seems like you did almost all of your time at Camp David. A big chunk of it
So my
between
last-
DC and David.
Year, I came to kind of around the area I'm at now. I went to Camp Lejeune, and I was going through the Special Forces process, which was MARSOC at the time. They just became a thing. They were building it up and stuff like that. A bunch of former recon guys were going over. And so I went to Stone Bay to go through the assessment selection process for that. And so I get there, I go through assessment selection. I convinced Lenise to extend my contract for about 2 more years, right? Because after we got married on our way down there, I wasn't able to get married while I was doing the presidential gig. So 2009, we got married. I got stationed in Stone Bay. Going through the process, convinced her to do 2 more years, which would give me 3 more years on my contract. That's 8 years. I knew I wasn't getting more than that. Right. She didn't want to be a military wife, me deploying for 8 months to a year at a time. Like, she just didn't want that life. And I respect that. Like,
Sure, makes sense.
I knew that kind of once we got together, like, this is probably not the career I'm going to be in for the rest of my life. So it kind of got me started thinking what I'm going to do after. But I was like, I know, like, I always wanted to do special forces. Like, this is kind of, so I go through ANS, I get through that, which is like a kind of a 3-week process. It's just how can you not quit? Like, you just keep going. We're gonna put you through pain and misery. Just don't quit, right?
Sure.
And you got to meet certain times and requirements. Like, hey, you got to ruck 12 miles in 3 hours. If you don't make the time, you're done.
Don't quit, and there's terminal objectives.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So I get through. I make it. Now I'm just kind of waiting for the next class to pick up. And around that time, like I said, MARSOC was very new. The commander, they just issued an executive order where, hey, if you want to be on the teams, it's a 5-year reenlistment commitment.
Oof.
Well, 5 more years would have put me 10 years in. Military's 20-year retirement. Like, if I do 10, you might as well do 20, right? And so just talking to my wife at the time, it just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. And I understand, like, I still got a little bit of regrets from those days from doing that stuff, but that stuff, I can accept it because I brought on responsibility as a husband, right? We gotta share that stuff. It's not just my life now, it's mine and hers. So I can accept that because I got something a little better.
Molly told me before we got married, she said, as far as before I chose a career, like while we were dating, she's like, you just don't be in the oil field. I can't have you in the oil field because I don't want you going half the year. And I was like, okay, we're not going to go oil field. And then I end up choosing a career where instead of going half the time, I'm going a third of the time. It wasn't an intentional bamboozle on her part, but
I got you.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna wiggle around this the best I can. But yeah, it ended up being, it's almost, I don't say it's similar to yours because when you're out in the military, it's months long deployment, but you're still gone at night a considerable amount of time. But so anyway, you decide, so you got to make the decision, right? You got to pull the plug.
So I did. I talked to the command. I had to. So I was just basically waiting to get out. And like I said, at the time, they're paying people to leave early. So like, oh well, I got the GI Bill. Might as well go to school. Went to UNCW out there, which was I did a semester and a half, and then President Obama changed. Like, his administration changed the way they did GI Bill, where they only paid up to in-state tuition, which financially is smart on the government. But I was an out-of-state student. So I'm like, that was my major income at the time. I went from doing cool guy stuff in the military to bagging groceries just to pay rent, right?
Sure. Now, when did you make the move? When did you make the move out of Louisiana to North Carolina? Because that came at some point. You said you went to college where?
So UNCW. So that change in my GI Bill forced us to move here to back to
Okay.
Louisiana. And we lived in Lafayette. I went to UL for a little bit.
Okay, got it.
The education system here was way different.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference between the two schools and what they taught and where they were at was so, I was like, man, I don't want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a semester here at UL, and then I just worked for my father-in-law who does the mobile detailing stuff. And he paid us pretty good, but we knew Louisiana had just become so much smaller to us. Like, we love the area, like Wilmington. Like, it's right on the coast. You know, it's got rivers, it's got mountains, it's got the ocean. Like, it's got a lot of good stuff. We had a lot of friends there. So we knew when
It's
we
also
moved here.
it's also kind of similar to me to cut you off. It's almost similar to Lafayette, like population wise, size.
Yep.
And like if you don't know about Wilmington, if you look at their stats, they're very very simple. Y'all have a beach. We obviously don't, but it's y'all are about 110,000 also, if I'm not mistaken.
No, we're a little bit
115?
more than that now. We're probably closer to 120.
Yeah, I
like,
think
because we just,
it's about where we're at.
people are just moving there in droves right now.
Right.
Wilmington's only 52 square miles because we're bordered by the Atlantic Ocean and the Cape Fear River, and they stopped Wilmington from being an annex outside. So we're locked at 52 square miles.
Okay.
And so it is just going up, up, up. So apartment complexes, things like that.
Sure.
But we always knew we wanted to move back to Wilmington.
Mm-hmm.
So we got here, worked my tail off. We saved a bunch of money. And then about a year and a half, like I think we connected a little bit in a time because I was also looking for another. I just didn't want to detail cars, right? I wanted to help people and I wanted to stay fit. Like that's from when I was a kid, right?
Right.
And working the long hours, detailing cars, it was hard to catch those workouts in and stuff like that, you know. And detailing car, man, great profession. Mr. Lay, he supported 7 kids, like did well for himself, did well for him, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And so at the time I was kind of looking for other stuff like police department here. I think I talked to you about the fire department. I actually took the civil service exam here. But at the time, you basically told me, it's like, man, if you don't know somebody.
I think I told you, I was like,
Yeah.
look, I work for them, but I have absolutely zero pull.
Yeah.
And to this day, I can't get you in. Like,
Yeah.
If you're saying, can I get you in? I cannot. I'm sorry. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I was just like, well, I'll just do this. So we basically just saved a bunch of money and moved back to Wilmington with no jobs. Yeah, that was
We'll figure it out when we get there.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
We had about 6 months of living expenses saved up. So it's like we got 6 months to find something to do.
Right.
And so we moved there. I had a buddy who kind of like look at a place beforehand for us. He's like, yeah, man, this will work for you. Moved out there and it's like, man, what do I do? And so right when I moved back out there, both the police department was hiring, or it was just the fire department hiring. Police department wasn't hiring. I was like, well, maybe I can get an in with fire and then switch over. Because, you know, being in the military, all my stuff translates to law enforcement a lot better than fire. Again, firefighter wasn't on my radar. It was, it sounded cool. Talking to you, I was like, man, that sounds cool. But I was like, I'm going to be a cop.
Right.
I'm well, bust perps and
guns and stuff. Adrenaline,
Yeah.
chase some adrenaline. Got it.
And so I actually applied for the fire department, went through the process, did the JPAD out there, the physical exam. There's a big written exam we had to do at the time, and then interview. And man, I hadn't done any interview prep before. Like, I was nervous. My thoughts were flying out of my head. Like, bombed the interview portion completely. I was like, didn't get a call back, obviously.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I was like, well, that's never happening again. And so I relentlessly practiced interview stuff. Like, where it's like, I'm going to be prepared. Because I was like, if I go to the police side, I'll bomb that interview too because I'm not prepared for it.
Right.
So I didn't get the job. I get a job as a painter. And I'm working as a painter for about a year. Hate it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't mind the work. I knew it's not what I'm supposed to do. Right? I'm bored out of my mind. Like, I'm dying inside. And next year comes around and both fire and police are hiring again. And so I apply. I was like, I felt like I needed a little redemption, especially on the fire side of things. I was like, I go in And I had been talking to a few guys at the church we were attending, and they were firefighters. And they're like, man, you're going to like it. Like, if you do it, like, you're going to be hooked. I'm telling you, you're going to be hooked. You're going to love it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I was like, I'm going to apply. So I do it, go through the interview. I don't want to build myself up to him, but I crushed it. Like, I had everything prepared. I had questions prepared for them, like Chiefs, like, you good. And I did the same thing for the police side. And I actually got hired by both on the same day, or offered. That like, hey, we'd like to offer you. It was an HR lady. She's like, actually, there's 2 positions that you got selected for. And so I was like, can I take a minute to decide? Like, it's like, because this is going to decide like the next 30 years, right?
Potentially, sure.
Right? So just in thinking about it and praying about it, talking to my wife about it, I was like, well, what are the things that I want? I don't want to be bored, right? I want to work hard, serve my community. Also want to, I miss the camaraderie of the military, living in the barracks, hanging with the boys, like cutting up. I was like, as a cop, it's like, yeah, I'll probably have like a training guy, but then you're kind of on your own.
Solo, sure.
Right? I was like, well, the firehouse, like, you're with the boys.
Yeah.
I was like, that does sound pretty cool. I was like, I told Lee, I was like, I feel like I need to go to the fireside.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, then do it. Just do it. And man, that decision was the best decision I've ever made, besides marrying my wife, right?
Obviously, it's number one.
But man, I started the academy and I was hooked. I had never touched a fire hose until I started. Besides for the physical fitness portion where you had to do a hose drag. Never touched a hose. Never knew really fire service was about. I didn't even know you had to do EMT.
Mm-hmm.
And so we start off with EMT. We do all the. I'm like, this is awesome. You're paying me to do this stuff on a daily basis. I mean, obviously, you're not going like the academy, right?
Obviously not.
But I was like, this is great. And so
it's why 70 some odd % of the fire service is volunteer. It's like 60 some odd % because they they do it. Of the U.S. fire service, the overwhelming majority is volunteer. They do it for free because it's so damn cool. To get paid to do it is pretty good.
Pretty good.
Did you find yourself from the military drawing back a little bit? The order that they ran their academy, you felt like you fell right back into it, like formations and like you were like, oh, we've been here before, like we're good.
I thought it was going to be like boot camp, where it's like, you're nasty little recruits, I'm about to haze you. Man, they treat us professionally.
Sure.
Obviously they held us to a standard.
Right.
The instructors and the training captains, man, high quality guys. Like, in fact, they're still with the department today. Like, respect those guys. Really, like, they took time. They poured into us. They told us kind of like how it would be. And then they also ran us to the dirt, right? As they should. And I'm like, man, these are like older guys, like mid-50s, like still getting after it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, that's good. That's
There's this one guy, we call him Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how old he is. I watched him. There was a CrossFit gym right next to it, and we would go there sometimes to work out. They would let us come in early, catch a workout. I watched him just do an iron cross. Like, I was like, man, I'm like in my prime right now. I can't do an iron. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So, like I said, I was hooked, man. Like, they're paying me to work out. They're paying me to have fun. Like, hang with my buddies. It's great. And so we do the academy. I get put at a station. It was Station 4 at the time, which is closed now. And it's just a little outlier station. There was 4 of us, single company, very small station. It was actually in a golf course.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Which it ran to the college. So we had a lot of calls out to the college and kind of like a little central area. So a lot of traffic accidents, not a huge residential population, and then the college. But my first officer was awesome, man. like there was a lot of old school mentality coming in. There was a shift in the culture at our department, like right before I joined. We had a new chief come in. He brought some new ideas. The idea of working out and being physically fit and training was starting to take root a lot more. Like it wasn't just like, hey, we're just going to wait for the call kind of thing. Or back in the day, like they'd tell stories like this. My captain telling me, he's like, you never talk to your officer. Officer was in his room doing what he needed to do. You talk to the engineer, and that's it.
Oof.
Like if the captain said anything to you, be lucky because it was, or don't, you probably wouldn't be lucky because it was probably an ass chewing.
Different culture.
Way different culture, but it was shifting, which is great. Right before, it was about 2 years right before I got in. Some of that mentality was still there, especially like our headquarters station and stuff like that. A lot of these old school guys that decide to stay on after the city like offered them a retirement package. So, but he was very personal. Like he was just a good guy. He was a good firefighter, great officer, good leader. And man, he was also kind of a prankster too. And so that was good, man. My engineer was just an old grumpy guy, but you know, we did think like we all worked out together, which was unheard of at the time for most stations. Like a group of guys, and he's like, hey, you pick the workout and we're doing it. And so we did like, I think at the time it was just like all calisthenics stuff. That was like the big thing. So we're just out there all doing stuff. And then we sit out on the bay floor after just drinking protein shakes and broing out, man.
Yeah, broing out. Yeah, to get everybody to work out, that is extremely rare. That's still extreme. I mean, there are some stations that do group workouts, depending on like who you follow on Instagram. But for the general understanding is to get everybody, all four, to be out. Yeah, that is definitely he set a good tone. He set a good example there.
He did. I was very fortunate to have him as my first officer because he made me kind of it made me enjoy the job even more. Right. I do remember like my first calls being super nervous, like taking a blood pressure, like it's just shaking, but he'd walk me through it. He's like, all right, this is what you did. This is what you didn't do right. Like, but it's good. It's repetitions, right? Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because there's something that comes to mind is whenever you, like you're a Marine, right? You have gone through the selection process. You know, you've been next to the multiple presidents several times for years. And then you go to take a blood pressure and that you're nervous about that. It's like, it's a crazy breakdown because I've seen it happen here on this podcast where you got all these killers at the table, a bunch of smoke divers, and then you turn a camera on and they go, like, I'm not going to pick on anybody's name, but there's a guy that his name rhymes with Jacob Stossel. And it's not him though, but it rhymes with it. So yeah, he's absolute dog of a human, great individual. But man, it's the little things where they just kind of freeze up, and it's a different scenario where I find it not funny but interesting that a blood pressure, you're nervous about that thing with all the previous stuff that you've done, right? But go ahead.
Because we fear doing bad, right? It's like, this is my first time doing it. Like
it's more not that you're worried about something happening with the blood pressure, more about screwing up.
Yeah. It's like, am I hearing this right? Am I fear of failure? But if there's one thing the Marine Corps taught me, adapt and overcome, right? That still sticks in my head. Adapt and whatever situation, adapt and overcome.
We just said it over here. We're on plan C for this podcast, and it's we'll figure it out. We'll make it work in the end. Adapt and overcome. That's what you had said, actually. So moving from your first assignment, got a good experience there. You wanted to bounce to potentially special teams. Is that kind of the?
So I don't want to say I got swindled into doing hazmat. So at the time, like our hazmat station, the hazmat station itself was a bunch of older guys.
Sure.
Right. Old mentality. Like it was in a slower station. Like I'm not super, but coming from the Marine Corps, like, hey, if you want to go to a school, like a specialty school, hey, you got to like compete with other people. Like it's a privilege to be able to do training. So I'm like, what was it? My training chief was like, hey, you want to do this? I was like, oh yeah, I'm young and hungry, right? Like
I'm in on that.
send me. I'll go. What a hazmat? I don't care. I was like, I might not pass, but I'll do it.
Sure.
And I did it, but I didn't think I was going to be put on the hazmat. I thought everyone like had to do hazmat and ropes and stuff like that.
Sucker.
So yeah. So I remember I was like, hey, send me your paperwork because I'm gonna get you on this. I was like, whoa, sir. I was like, I didn't know I was supposed to be doing this. He's like, oh yeah, we just put money into you. I was like, oh. And I was at a good station, like some good guys. They shut down the station I was at.
Mm-hmm.
We got moved on the other side of the college campus, dual company station. I'm with some very aggressive guys, a good captain who was also a former Marine, like just he's our David Goggins. Like he looks like him. He's like, we're training, we're doing stairs. Come on, boy. Like we're doing air consumption drills like every tour. Like
good Lord.
I loved him. We were getting after it.
I thought you would have been the David Goggins of your station.
So we fed each other.
Oh,
it's like,
ooh,
I was like,
ugly.
We only doing 3 sets of squats today. Obviously you're getting old, right? Back and forth, like it's like, all right, let's go, come on.
We're doing 6.
We'll be doing like 3 miles of lunges at the stage. It's like we're next call, like our legs are like,
yeah.
He was great. So I got transferred from that station. I was having a great time there to the hazmat station.
Yeah.
Where everyone's probably older than me by about 10 years.
Okay.
Everyone's kind of like set in their ways, like,
just slower.
So I was at that station for about 3 years, and I did not enjoy my time there at all. Like there were some good things. Like we had some good guys. Like when we got rookies, they came every now and then, but nobody wanted to work with this crew out there at the time, and I was stuck with them.
Yeah, I
even asked my chief at this. Now we have like transfer requests. Like, hey, you want to get transferred? You can put in, and let's see what they can do. Right? Sure. It's not guaranteed, but hey, you have an outlet to potentially where you want to go.
Right.
At that time, it wasn't. The officer I had, he was a good guy because I think in the 3 years I had 4 separate officers that kind of rotated out because they also couldn't deal with some of these other guys too. They're like, nah, get me out of the station. So I sat with him. I was like, sir, I need to get out of here. I'm young. I didn't join to sit on the sidelines. Like I want to be a busy station running calls. Like,
right.
I just want to be active. Like I was training by myself on the bay. I'd work out by myself. Like everything I did was like on my own. And that's disheartening.
I want to pause you there because we've had a couple of conversations where I've reached out to you about stuff like training. And I was like, hey man, what does it look like? And I remember you specifically saying, I don't remember the time period, but I'm willing to bet this must have been it. You said, yeah, look, I go and do training on my own. And if they want to join, they can, but I'm doing stuff and I offer it, and I may not get a lot of participation, but it is what it is. That was probably that same. It clearly wasn't with Goggins.
No,
it wasn't that. No, okay, it was probably during this hazmat time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look, every now and then I have a good officer come in and we'd work together and stuff like that. Like I had one, and he was just kind of like, hey, if you make it out, we're gonna do it. Like he was always in on the workouts and stuff like that. And, every now and then like I said, we got new guys and they'd be in on the workouts. So it'd be like brief periods of respite. But also that time while I was there, found out my wife was pregnant. Our pay at the time was not very good for the area. Wilmington's a pretty expensive place to live. And so I'm like, man, I'm not sure if I can afford a kid. Like, like there are just things that I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, man, it's just not there, right?
Right.
And so I actually started looking, which I never thought I would. I loved my job. I wasn't having a great time there, but someone told me about the federal side of things. They're like, man, you kind of be a shoe-in. Like you've got a federal background, you got a background check already. You had a top secret clearance, like. Background checks will be easy, which is usually the most expensive things for hiring someone like that. So I applied to the fire department on Camp Lejeune. Federal benefits, everything financially is very good, right? Although the work was way slow.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't run any calls. The work schedule, like you work 136 hours every 2 weeks. Like
136.
Yep. So it's basically, it's like
Good Lord.
you work a day, you're off a day, work a day, off a day, work a day, off a day for like almost 14 days. Like it's just,
And
you
then
only
you
get
get
a
some time
small,
off.
you get like a small 2-3 day break.
Lordy. All right.
So financially, it's good. And I'm looking at that side because I'm about to have to, like, I've got responsibilities now as not only a husband, but a father.
Sure.
So I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't really want to do it because I don't want to be bored, but I also don't want to be poor. And so I went through and I got hired. Like I killed the interview because I'd been practicing. Killed the interview. We had a teaching portion, everything, like full gambit. Passed it. I get a call saying, hey, you're going to be hired. If you want to come back next week, we'll start processing your paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that week, I had an event that happened that kind of changed the course. So we've got other special teams besides hazmat. Obviously, we got technical rescue, we got a dive team, we got a boat team, but we also have a SWAT medics.
Mm.
So when I was in rookie school, one of my training officers walked in one time with a SWAT uniform on. I was like, hey, what do you do? Why are you wearing that? Are you on the SWAT team? And he's like, yeah.
ears perked up like
Oh, I'm telling you,
like a dog heard
radar
treat, like
just went up, bing, 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 bing. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, well, the city's got agreement. The SWAT team uses firefighters as their medics. I was like, how do I get on that? I was like, well, how about you graduate the academy first, right? And so I was like, I literally hounded him every time I saw him because it's very small. They at the time it was only 6 guys that did it, and there's guys that had been doing it for a while.
right.
Every time I saw him, I hounded him. Hey man, how you got an opening yet? Let me get on. Like I'll just show up. You ain't even got to pay me. He's like, no, because I'm like, okay,
that a
that'll
lot.
kind of scratch that itch that I was looking for, like with the law enforcement side, right? Like I get to be around some guns again, check out
Right.
that kind of side of things.
Yeah.
But I also don't have to be a cop where people hate me. Right?
Sure. Right. Best of both worlds.
Love the cops.
Yeah.
But those guys get a ton of hate.
They do.
So eventually, right after I got off probation, he gives me a call. He's like, hey man, we got an opening. You want to try out? I was like, I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. So our tryout is the same thing they do for their tryout. So it's physical agility test, the memory test. It's kind of like what we did in the military. There's things called Kim games, which is like a memory test. You got to write like an after action or what you would do in this situation. But I got on, and man, I loved it. Like I liked hanging out with those guys. I like doing the medical side, like the trauma side for that. I just started becoming an EMT instructor for a department. So taking like that stuff and teaching those guys and taking all the trauma stuff we've been learning from there and teaching our guys. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that team was keeping me afloat sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So back to where we were at, getting hired on with the other place, we get a call out like right after I got the offer. It's like, hey, we need everybody to meet in this location. We have a suspect on the run, stuff like that. So I show up on scene. Basically, long story short, a guy robbed a place, broke into a house in like the lower income neighborhood, and it's kind of like a duplex. And he barricaded himself inside. Well, while we were there, he also set the house on fire. So
you're there as a medic.
I'm there as a medic,
but now
in
you're
cop uniform, right?
Yeah.
We got the armored vehicle up there. He's in the window. He's poking out every now and then. So fire, they can't come close, right? The scene's not safe.
Oof.
So I end up pulling a hose line from the rig a block down, and I'm fighting fire behind this armored vehicle while they got guns pointed down. And, I'm kind of protecting exposures because it's right next to the house. There's a ton of like that pine straw on the roof and stuff. And I'm like, man, this is awesome. It's like, And I had the thought while I was there, I was like, I'm never going to get this, or the potential of getting something like this over there.
It just doesn't exist.
It just doesn't exist.
Right.
Like nothing. The calls we go on, not just SWAT, but just fire calls. Like we're way busier than those guys. But back to the story. Like, so I'm fighting fire. The fire spreads and is coming towards him. He eventually jumps out. Right. And I'll never forget this image. They sent the dog in. Right. I watched the dog come in, grab his shoulder, and pull it like Play-Doh.
Oh.
I was like, oh, like I'm still got the hose line. I was like, whoa. And just shakes him. And this he's all messed up. He actually burned his esophagus pretty good, just breathing in all the superheated gases and stuff. And that dog I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was relentless. Just ripping muscle.
Yep. He actually bit the handler, like trying to get him off. Like, I forget the dog's name at the time, but he was ferocious, man.
Yeah.
He was a great police dog, but he was not a pet. Not a pet.
So that call happens.
And just the high from that call, right? I get back. I'm still thinking about these things. Like, man, I'm never gonna get like. And then I'm just thinking about my family and me personally, and I'm like, you know what? If I take this job, I'm gonna be less of who I am, and I'll give that less to my family, right? Because I'm not. Here's the best thing about the fire service for me, right? The fire service is the best way I can express who I am as a person, like in what I do. Like it gives me the opportunity for a ton of outlets that I wouldn't get anywhere else. Helping people, having fun, working hard, running calls, like special team stuff. Like the fire department is the best outlet for me. It is a very good expression of who I am. Over there, I wouldn't be, and I'd be dying inside. And then I'd be disgruntled, and I'm like, I don't want to look back, not only in regret, but resentment to my family for having to take that job for them.
It would always be compounding, right? It would be compounding. Not only would you have not been your best self, but then you also potentially could have said, well, it's because of them.
Yes.
And it could potentially, thankfully it didn't, but it could have spiraled. You were thinking long term.
Long term. So I went home, cracked a beer, and just me and my wife just had a conversation about it. She's like, don't do it then.
Yeah.
Like she's super supportive. She's like, don't do it. I was like, yeah. I was like, I can't do it. Like it sounds good, and financially it would have been great. But I like for me personally as a man, like I just couldn't take that step and do it because it would make me less of who I am.
Excellent.
But fortunately, so I had already told my department I was like a day away from putting in my 2 weeks. Right. Next day, I was going to HR, dropping it. Everybody knew I was leaving. Everybody in the department knew I was going.
Right.
I told the SWAT guys, I was like, hey, man, this is my last training day. I won't see you guys again.
You already said all your goodbyes.
I said my goodbyes. And everyone's like, yeah, man, that makes sense.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Right. And then the next day, I called the HR for Lejeune and was like, hey, I can't take the job. I appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time, but I'm going to have to decline. They're like, all right, sorry to hear that, but wish you the best.
Yeah.
And then I'd tell my department, I was like, hey, I'm staying. Surprise. And they're like, great, man, we'd love to keep you and stuff like that. Like, you know.
I think you even announced it on Facebook. I think I remember during that time period, I want to say you were even like, hey, I got this job on the federal side, blah, blah, blah. And we're all happy for you. And then it just didn't happen. And this is the first time I'm hearing this story.
I think I put maybe a file, because that's the easiest way for like guys on different shifts to, see that. So.
Sure.
Yeah. So I was like, why you didn't do it, man? What's going on?
You had to go through the whole.
I was like, yep. I was honest with why I did it. Even my, he was assistant chief at the time. He's now our head chief, but he even sat me down and he's like, man, I'm glad you stayed. Mm-hmm. Like you've got a good reputation so far in the department. You work hard. Like we see what you're doing. So I'm glad we're keeping you here.
Okay.
And that was pretty encouraging, even though I was at a super slow station.
So you stick around and you talk about the call to change your mind. You stick around. You got failing the promotional process, and kind of going through that process. Because I do want to get to you, eventually promote an officer.
Yeah.
I definitely want to catch North Carolina Breathing School because I know
Yes.
zero about it. And that's it's on my mind right now.
So,
But anyway, go ahead.
In fact, I'll just make a brief thing.
Sure.
Breathing school, I signed up for right after rookie school.
Oh, you had been trying it? Well, go ahead.
So it's a waiting system. Like you're put on a list, and they send 2 in the fall, 2 in the spring. It took 7 years for it to get to my right, and
Lord, dude.
And then I'll tell you why I didn't get to do it. But
yeah, good.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm with this crew, right?
All right.
And
Are you still with the hazmat crew? You decided to stay.
I'm
You're
still with the hazmat crew.
Okay.
But something changed. Like there was a lot, especially from the younger guys, like guys coming in the department. Like I said, culture was shifting. Like guys wanted to train hard. They wanted to run calls. They wanted to work out and be aggressive. And there was also guys like I was trying to recruit people as much as possible for the hazmat team. Like, hey, I just need some other good guys to come. But there was just a lot of talk. It's like, hey, we would attract more people because the hazmat team wasn't getting people. And we were going to lose the contract for the hazmat thing because it's a regional team. Like I know Jacksonville's been wanting it or something like that. But we just weren't recruiting. So it's like, hey, how about we put the hazmat station at a busy station? And maybe we'll attract some good aggressive guys that want to run calls. Like, because once you get to it, I like the hazmat stuff. I do. Like it. Some of it's real nerd stuff.
Yeah,
obviously,
I was fixing to say nerd, but I was going to let you finish.
But the technician stuff, like everything I've done is hands-on. I'm going down range, I'm mitigating the problem, and I'm good. Sometimes it's level A suit, which is not super fun.
Yeah.
But the hazmat stuff, the hazmat work, I like. It's just the people, right? So we're trying to attract like younger, aggressive guys. There was a guy I worked with, and let me give you the dynamics of that. There was an officer there. He was on the truck. He never said one direct thing to me in the 3 years I was there.
Oh my!
Actually, I'm wrong. One time, when my wife was pregnant, he asked me how she was. That's the only time he looked at me and asked me a question.
That's wild.
3 years, and it's not like they had like closed offices. It's like
open day rooms.
Just you don't talk. It's still that mentality, right? There was an engineer at the time. We didn't speak for 2 years because we just butted heads. Like I'm firefighter Guidry. You shouldn't be asking the engineer to step outside, right? Like,
oh my God.
Like you're just butting heads, super just negative guy.
Yeah.
In fact, I still don't talk to him.
Right.
Like he's the only guy, like I get along with
That's
pretty much
fair.
everybody. But it is a better relationship just not talking to each other.
Sure. Right.
So we adapted.
Yeah, it's just a bad. Yeah, it's just a bad working environment.
Yeah,
that's fine. We won't talk for the next 30 years, but it's just not a fun place to be.
That's great.
Sure.
So that was kind of leadership, but they did decide to move the station to where it's currently at, which is actually where I'm at right now as an officer. It's Station 5, which is kind of like a very busy area for us. Like we are probably one of the busiest engines in the city. It bounces between us and the headquarters down there. So we move it out there, which is great. I'm like, oh man, I love this. We're running calls now. I was on the truck company at the time. Like we're running calls, we're catching good stuff. In fact, I remember the day we moved to that station, we had to move everything, right? So we're hauling stuff, U-Hauls and trailers I think we were done at 6 p.m. From 6 p.m. to 7:30 when we clock out, I think we ran 16 calls. Like it was, it was like boom, boom, boom. I was like, this is great. Yes. Right?
Yeah.
Because there were times at that station, I ran 2 tours without running a single call, without wheels turning, right?
2 tours?
I was dying.
Now 16, toe about goes back up, 15, 16 calls. Y'all run all medical? If it's a toe pain, belly aches, I got a headache.
There's certain medicals that they've done.
Filter?
Right when we got there, the filter wasn't as heavy, I guess.
Okay.
And so pretty much anything. But I mean, we still run a ton of medical calls. So
yeah.
But fires, a lot of good fires out there. It is a lot of car accidents where we're at. A lot of vehicle versus pedestrian. a lot of foot traffic on a very busy road. So we moved there super fast. I'm close to promotion time for me. When I came in, I had a goal in mind. Like I wanted to make officer in 10 years if I was ready, right? Because, I'd been leading the Marine Corps, like small units and stuff like that. I was in charge of guys. But I knew I had to play the part. I'm going to be at the bottom of the barrel. I'm going to be cleaning toilets, washing dishes. I'm good with that.
Sure.
Right? But I know personally for me, I want to be an officer because the officer will dictate the culture of the station. Right?
Correct.
And I've seen good officers do great for the station. And I also witnessed bad officers and how they affected the station. I was like, man, I want to be a positive change for good. Like I want to kind of foster that, right? And hold people accountable if they're not doing it.
I just had Chief Miller on the podcast, and he talked about how it is similar to basically the officer will set the thermostat.
Yeah.
So he's setting the temperature on how hard we can push or not push, and you literally create the culture. You can build it as an officer. You can build it also as a fireman. But it's way more difficult if you don't have the buy-in. It's super hard to do. You can do it, but it's just more difficult. But as an officer, you set the thermometer and you go, boom, this is where we're at. And then everybody's got to come up. Yeah, you have to come up to it.
We're throwing gear on and we're doing some training.
Right.
We're pulling some hose. We're climbing the ladder.
Sure.
We're going to work out together today. Or I don't care what you do, but you will do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's a lot easier to hold people accountable, which for a long time that was very hard in our department because we talked about overweight fire department.
Sure.
And again, like coming from the Marines, stuff like that, and like seeing how physicality helps shape how you perform. Like in my head, it's like, and I tell the guys this day, it's like your physicality directly reflects how you're able to serve your community, right? If you're overweight or you're gassed, oh, Meemaw that's in that building, you think you can make it to her? Hey, we need to vent that roof. You think you can be able to get up there and cut that roof before you're sucking down a bottle? Or you're doing a search and 3 minutes, your bottle's gone?
Right.
Like we had guys like that. I watched somebody go on air, go up 3 stories, and they start banging.
Oof.
It's like, what? You can't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
All you did was move up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just went vertical.
You've become now a liability to your crew. You're not an asset, you're a liability.
Correct.
And I didn't want that.
Yes.
Right. So that my goal is to become an officer. First step is now I got to become an engineer. So the process is coming up. It was pretty complicated at the time. The officer that was in charge of it, he's he's like a robot, man. Like it's like he sees things in binary code, I swear. But like the whole process was kind of crazy. Well, I ended up failing the process. Just through some stuff's my mistake. I 100% own. Some of the stuff it just wasn't right. And so I actually filed a grievance about the process. Like, hey, this is what was kind of wrong. You can't duct tape 2 different connections on an FDC. Like there's nowhere that's like, because Wilmington, we have our own thread. We got the Wilmington thread. We've got national standard and we got Wilmington because way back in the day, the Wilmington didn't want the county catching our hydrants.
Yeah. Us too. We have the same thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, exact same thing.
So I'm like, you would never have Wilmington thread and national standard on an FDC.
Right.
Duct tape together. It's like, anyway, I put in a grievance. I filed. I was like, hey, I had a 3-page report. Hey, this is all the stuff that I got gigged on. This is what I feel is not correct about this process. And my chief basically told me, it's like, I don't care. Like, I was like, okay, cool. But what happened next year was after that, I don't know if they took all of my notes, but the process completely changed.
Interesting.
And so a bunch of the issues that I had, and the other people also put in similar things about it because it had a few other guys fail. But the process changed. But anyway, I failed this process. I'm actually an acting engineer at the time, so I'm riding out of position for that whole year that we moved to this new station. And so I actually get my certs pulled to drive. And so now I've got to recert like 2 days later in front of every chief we've got. And I did right because the process was, it's like, oh, this is how it should be.
Right.
But I was a little bitter about some of that stuff and how it was handled at first. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to come back and I'm going to do good. Because I'd spent the last year like studying and preparing and getting ready. Because like I knew what my goal was. Right. But we were hurting for engineers so bad. In 4 months, they ran another process.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to go out for it again. And I made it through. I think I was like second on the list. And I was like, good. And then, so I got promoted. But I changed stations. And I went back to the officer I had when I was a rookie.
Okay.
And it was at a slower station. It's kind of like I guess the closest thing around here would be like City Club and stuff like that. It's the gated community, the real like nice.
Yeah, you're going to get some alarms, but they're not burning all the time.
I'm going to tell you, I don't know how gravity is over here, but in Wilmington it is extra heavy.
Yes.
And I can't tell you how many lift assists we do. Like
we don't get called for lift assist. It's automatically goes to Acadian, and Acadian will call us if they can't get it. So we don't do we do lift assist, but it's reasonably rare. It's not like other cities where it's the fire department by default, essentially. Yes. So if it's fire department by default, I bet it is a lot. Man, that's a rough one in the fire service. You know, they have some fire departments that are charging, like for nursing. If you go to nursing homes, there's some fire chiefs that said, hey, you can call us. That's fine. We'll show up. But we're going to charge the nursing home, say, $100 a lift or $200 a lift or whatever, because the nursing home should be supplying the people. They should be paying staff to be able to do that basic function of the nursing home. That's like a big talking point right now. But anyway.
That'd be great because we'd be rich. We'd be, richest fire department in the world because, especially nursing home, because they don't hire people. Because one, they don't want to assume liability, and two, it's a free service.
Yeah,
the text was like,
why would we pay anybody? We got the fire department.
I mean, I understand it from a business perspective, but also it's like, come on, man. Nobody could pick up like 95-pound Meemaw and put her in her chair. Yeah, and they'll tell you, no, we cannot touch them.
Yeah, it's what a mess between government services. Like, well, they can't take the liability allegedly, but like we can. Like we gotta touch them and pick them up just for a lift assist.
But it's like you assume the responsibility.
It's like I said, it's a dicey thing in the fire service world at the moment. But anyway, so a lot of lift assist. That's where you end up.
Yep. So I end up in this area with my old captain, and man, I'm actually having a great time. My crew's great. Like we're doing stuff together. We're training. Like. We're not running a ton of like good calls. We like right when I got there, I don't know. I always tell people it's like feast and famine. Sometimes like, hey, every time the tones drop, it's us. And there's times it's like, there's big stretches of like nothing. Right. Mm-hmm. And right when I got stationed out there, we were just catching stuff left and right. We had a rookie that dropped and man, we were catching burners and like, it's a good morale boost. Right.
Right.
So it's great. And then it would slow down. So during that time as an engineer there, I got the opportunity of working with our recruit academy. We call them RTIs, recruit training instructor.
Okay.
And basically what happens is a guy comes off shift and is with the group for the day until they cut, and then we go back to the rig. So there's 3 of us, 1 per shift.
Okay.
Because they were having a hard time getting people come offline to be on day duty, to just be with them 24.
It's a very common problem.
Yeah. No. We want to run calls, right?
Fire department's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Fire department's fun.
Yeah.
Like, just having a good time.
Yeah. 40-hour weeks aren't attractive, but anyway.
So I get the opportunity to do this. First class we get in is about 25 recruits, and we run our whole academy. Like there's me, there's a few other guys. We teach the EMT portion. Like we are partnered with the college there, and they have a representative there, but we do all the teaching for that. Mm-hmm. And we'll run the practicals and everything, and they'll sign off basically. And it's a really good working relationship because we can teach them the EMT stuff, but also like, hey, as firefighters, this is what we're doing. You're not going to be a firefighter on an ambulance or a paramedic on an ambulance. You're going to be a firefighter doing firefighter stuff. So we're going to hone in more on this stuff. But we're also going to hit this stuff because you got to pass it for the North Carolina state exam. Right?
Sure. Yeah, no doubt.
So working with the recruits for EMT and fire and just getting to go to we used to have this place that we went to at the end of the year. It's Gaston. It's the same place the breathing school's at.
Mm-hmm.
But we stopped doing that just because the cost and stuff like that. It's a fantastic facility. But right before that, like I got selected finally to go to breathing school. Right, It's been about 7 years. Got to go. So me and one of my buddies, we get in the vehicle, we go up there. On the way there, I wasn't feeling super good like before. I was like, maybe it's nerves or something, right? You know, but you're going into an unknown, and I know I'm going to get slayed for a few days and stuff like that. I'm excited, but you know, there's nervousness. You always think how I'm going to perform or how I'm going to do, right?
Well, let's back up a little bit because this is where I'm interested.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, because I've heard a bunch of people talk about North Carolina Breathing School. I know you're the second individual that I know that's ever passed it, but there's not a lot known about it. How much did you know about it going in? Like, you signed up for something. Did you have any idea what you were signing up for?
Yeah, so I knew it was RIT related, right?
Okay.
Like you're not dragging hose and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's firefighter survival and then getting firefighters out.
Was search a part of this?
Yeah.
So it's really like truck style skills, forcible entry, vent, any of that, or it's really just search and RIT.
It's extricating yourself, like how to extricate if you get trapped, and then how to get somebody that's trapped out.
And how long is this program?
It's a week long.
So it's 5 days?
5 days. And
8-hour days?
Yeah. Well, sometimes like when you get there, there's a very brief like introduction, and then it's work. You go right into an air consumption drill.
So I want to pause you before you start, because this is generally considered like North Carolina's smoke diver. I know it's not a smoke diver program. It's run by the state, correct? It's similar to like a Mississippi. Mississippi has a smoke diver program, but it's called smoke diver. But they also don't pull. Well, no, I'm sorry, they do pull hose. You got Alabama, run by the state, but it's a smoke diver program. So North Carolina is like it's supposed to be really difficult. It is difficult, but it's not called smoke diver. But once again, I don't know that in those programs, it's kind of hush hush. We've had multiple Mississippi guys here. We've had an Oklahoma smoke diver here. It's we did a whole thing on OBT, and we were we were specifically asked, don't give away the program.
Yeah,
don't give the curriculum. So
That's
I'm asking you about North Carolina to say, I want to know about it, but also I'm assuming that they don't want you to give away their program either.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So say what you can say.
I'll hit on some stuff, but I won't go into detail because you know it is better going there without like knowledge of what's going to happen.
Okay.
So you don't game the system, right? Because obviously
that's always the trick. Nobody with all these programs, nobody wants their system built for a certain thing, and then you end up gaming it. And you got a higher pass rate than would normally be because, well, we told you all the stuff that's going to happen and you're kind of ready for it. Well, can you say that so I'm going to ask you and you can just say yes or no on it. Is there a PT portion? Like, is there like a beat 'em up style thing before you go into the evolution style? Because in Mississippi, it's open that they don't. It's really, really difficult. There's a lot of terminal objectives that really, really suck. And I only know this from talking to a bunch of them. But there's no PT. I didn't know. It is. Okay, so it's just basically
the first day is kind of a sleigh fest with you have to pass an air consumption drill, or you're done.
Right.
If at any point you say I'm done, you're done.
Sure.
Right. And there are people that did it. But so like I went out with my buddy. Right. I'm not feeling super well before. And in fact, I actually asked Tim. I was like, "Hey man, you mind driving?" I was like, "I don't know what it is." What comes to find out, I had the flu. Right. So we get there. I'm like, that night, I'm like, man, I'm not feeling great. I was like, I don't think it's nerves. Whatever. Go to class the next day, do the air consumption drill. I'm like, I can feel my vision waving, which is not like me, right? Like it's like I try to do these quite a bit. We get through, then it's evolution after evolution after evolution. I'm good, but my body feels weird. Like, man, I was like, maybe I just need to eat something. And we went out to eat with some guys, and I was like, I can't even eat, man. Like, we went to a steakhouse, and I'm like, I looked at that steak, I was like, oh man,
that's not good.
I was like, No, I went to the room, and I think I woke up in the middle of the night just puking my guts out.
Oh, brother, this is day
I'd
one.
been-
This is
Day
day
one.
one.
I had waited 7 years so far. And then it's like, I'm not sure I'll be able to, like, with what is involved. I was like, I'm super dehydrated. I was like, I don't want to leave though. So I talked to like the lead instructor. He's like, man, you need to go home or you're going to be a medical drop. I was like, I don't know. He's like, if we can get you into the next class or something like that. He's like, but it's no guarantees. He's like, but if you've been, he's like, you're not going to make it. It's like, I guarantee you. And so I ended up having to pull back from the course.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you went twice.
Yep. And which is, there are guys that will never apply to this, right? And never go. But then like, oh, you bitched out?
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man. Like, because I came back and I'm throwing up the whole way. I can't even make it like 30 minutes driving. I had to pull the side of the road and just like,
He's
lay
right.
out.
He's right. You wouldn't have made it.
I know I wouldn't have made it, but at the same time, like, it's like, man, I'd been waiting. Like, this is the course I've been wanting, right?
Since the beginning, essentially.
Yeah. And so it's like going back, it feels like you're going with your tail tucked between your legs and stuff like that. But it's like, you know what? I'm going to adapt. I'm going to overcome. Right.
I see a theme here.
Yep. And so, then I started the recruit training stuff, like right after that.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I'm with them, the opportunity appeared again to go back because I'm with the training department and I'm talking to the chief.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Do you want to go?" I was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
I was like, "Send me." I was like, and what was good is I would go there and then 3 weeks later go back with the rookie class to the same location, doing some of the same stuff.
Okay.
Because like what we used to have, like our final exercise was kind of like a breathing school light for our rookies.
Good.
So it's me and my buddy who's also an RTI. We go, man, it's great. It's super hard work, right? Put in very uncomfortable spots. I don't like being trapped in like tight spaces. Like that's not, I can do confined space and I don't mind doing, but just being, that feeling like I can't move.
Squeezed.
And they put you in that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Adapt and overcome. Like they give you techniques and tools and stuff to watch, but they also put you in very uncomfortable spots. Like the final exercise, like it's just work and it's hard work, but it's good.
I'm going to ask him, I'll pause you on the NC. You started with how many? What's their attrition rate? What was it like in your class? And what is it generally like?
So most people, if they don't get hurt, they just quit. So I remember when we were doing the air consumption drill, there's I don't know, like a 15-foot tube that you got to crawl through.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys have panic attacks in there because it's usually towards the end when your air's running out, runs up. You got to go through. It's not a very big corrugated tube, right?
Right.
I watched the guy start going, and like at the very beginning, he's like,
Apprehensive?
I was like, you're not gonna enjoy this.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how, but he went in kind of upside down, like bottle to, and he's like trying to scoot. And then he was probably hit the midpoint and then had a complete panic attack. Like in there, like the whole thing's like shaking out. It was like, well, the only way you coming out is you get yourself out.
Oh, yeah, there's no lifeline. It's not like you can drag them out.
No.
Yeah, so panicking will do you zero good.
He got out and all he had to do was walk a little further and do the last exercise. And he would have passed. Because if you take off any of your equipment at any time,
Automatic failure. Sure.
And I was like, hey man, don't do it. Like he was with our group. Don't do it. He's like, I'm done. Threw his stuff and some departments require this for the job. Like like you have to have this course within a certain amount of time or you're done.
So you have departments that are literally all North Carolina Breathing School graduates.
Yep.
So the attrition rate can't be crazy.
It's not super.
Like how many did you start with, and how many are graduating with?
I don't know the number. I just for our group, we probably knocked out a third of the people in the group I was in.
Okay, So
And some of
you'll-
that was medical stuff. Some of that is
Yeah.
just, man, just
it's still kind of
nerves
high.
got to people. Like I remember the leader of our group, he was, I think, like 12 years in the department or whatever.
Mhm.
Right before we're about to do this like kind of confined space search and stuff like that, I can see like his anxiety going up, right?
Hmm.
He got into his own head
Mhm.
and I was watching it. And finally he's like, I think I'm having heart issues. I think I need to be seen by the doc. It's like, nah, man, you're having a
Panic.
panic attack.
There, yeah, how much you want to go into? In OBT, there was an evolution. He tells you in the beginning. Baz says if you rip a mask at any point, it's an automatic failure. And there was a particular evolution where similar to the tube, like it wasn't the tube, it's not a tube, but like similar to like there's no real threat.
Mm-hmm.
It just the stress, the building of stress and the culmination of how many hours you're awake and all this other stuff. There, it was one of those mask grip things where there was no real danger there, but in the situation, you look back at it, like at this table, you look back and you're like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
But when you're in it,
And your anxiety is like,
anxiety's
condition
high.
red.
You've been in gear for God knows how long. You're not being allowed to, you're essentially not allowed to sleep. You're like, I just don't want to do the panic. The panic starts to stack, and can you keep yourself under control? I'd imagine that was also happening in this particular scenario. So anyway,
and there's a few people like the entanglement box got some people right. Do you guys do the entanglement box here?
We have them. It depends on the department. It depends on, it's hit or miss. They built something very similar in our department. A couple of surrounding departments have them. So it just depends on where you're talking about, to be honest with you. But it's a thing somewhere.
We like as part of our academy, like you got to go through one, stuff like that. And usually we let them go through where they can see everything, crawl through, get to the other side. I mean, it's still tough, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to go through it blindfolded. Well, you got to do the same thing there, except their boxes are like ours on steroids. There's cords you will get hung up. But, they're also right there. Hey, take a step back up a little bit. They're talking you through it just to show you can get through it. But a lot of people
it's frustrating.
It's frustrating. Like I said, those aren't my favorite. I do it because I'm uncomfortable doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, I don't like doing this, but I'm going to go in and do it. In fact, before we had to do it, that morning, I came in early at breathing school just to go through the boxes. Like, I went through slick, went through my pack and helmet. So like, I went through that box probably 6 or 7 times before we did it for real during the class.
Yeah, because
I was like,
it's terminal.
It's like, I got to kill whatever that little thing is up here, right?
Right.
That's saying, you don't like it.
Right.
I don't like it. You just gotta do it.
So
action kills anxiety every time.
Ooh, I like that. Action kills anxiety. I like that AA stack because a lot of people, I do another one where people talk about, I say like I developed it. I didn't develop it. They talked about not having enough confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about how competence will build, reps will build competence, and then the competence will build confidence. So you're not confident because you haven't put in the time to be competent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not me talking to other people. That's me talking to myself, but that is very, very true. Action kills anxiety. Yep. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. It's literally the same thing. Just we're putting a different spin on it. But anyway.
I always tell, because there are guys that are terrified of climbing ladders or whatever. It's like, hey, man, that fear is a poison. It's going to eat you up.
Yeah.
Action code, just do it.
You just got to do it over and over.
Just do it. Yeah. And then do it again, and then do it again.
So breathing school, we kind of got most of it. I kind of understand because once again, I talked to 0 people who graduated. So we got 40 hours. Mm-hmm. You knock the thing out, you graduate. Super hard.
Super hard.
The
buddy I was with, I would highly recommend it, like to everybody. The buddy I was with, man, he was stellar. He's a stud. In fact, one part, like we had, it's not giving anything, but we went deep, and I had a malfunction with my air.
Okay.
And so I had lost a ton of air, like in getting to where we needed to go. And so when we finally got to the place we needed to do work, my air was there. And so I was the liability, right? I was like, dang. it wasn't 100% my fault. Some of it was like just in my movement, I could have been more efficient and stuff like that. But it's like, hey man, we got to go.
Yeah.
And in fact, we ended up having to buddy breathe out just to get
out,
which was a good learning experience in itself, just moving with someone on air.
Right.
But it's like when we exited the door, we had both run out of air. There's a few things like in that class. It just, it'll push you to like things happen. Like I got my mask ripped off in one of the evolutions, not by me, but in moving someone. So like
it got pulled.
Like it got pulled as I'm pushing up like a Denver drill, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm going and it just hooked and ripped my mask, and I'm pushing and jumping out the window at the same time. Like almost, I feel like I was backflipping out of that thing.
Yeah.
Because once that heat and smoke hit, you're like, oh God.
That was under heat?
Oh yeah, everything's under heat. Like that's what I love about that place. They burn.
Yeah.
They will get those rooms cooking. I've never been more uncomfortable with heat than there. Because there's some of the they'll just let you cook for 2/3 of your bottle in a room with fire, right? You're just cooking. You're starting to suck in hot air, and it's like now we're doing the evolution.
Yeah, there was a couple of things that OBT. I've talked to you about it before. I think you would love it. Yeah, I don't want to say you're gonna have fun. It's type 2 fun. It's really gonna suck, but I think you'd really enjoy it. So Basil, if you're listening, I don't know, maybe you are, maybe you aren't. I got a guy for you. Anyway, the other thing is talking about similar to North Carolina, Mississippi, they burned all the time too. Where some of these smoke diver programs, there's like all this different stuff, and then there's a heat day. There's like a burn day. But for the most part, it's not burn days. But with those, like with North Carolina and Mississippi, like every day is burn day.
Only day we don't burn is the first day.
Yeah.
After that, you are in heat the whole time.
Ugh.
And
gross.
I love it because they will get those, like they're residential. I've probably never been more hot than I've been in that. Because there's like in a room not bigger than this, there's like 2 big burn pits that they're just launching pallets on. So it's such a good training facility, like top tier.
I'm willing to, we had Donald Smith sat in that chair over there, and he said one of the cool things about Mississippi is it gave him a temperature gauge for real life where I mean, obviously they burn every day in Mississippi, but also he said it gave him a gauge for when the really hot evolution that they do in Mississippi, the worst one, it's largely considered the worst one. He said once he went into the real life scenario, it gave him like I'm okay. Like, I remember what this was and where I'm at here. Yeah. If he didn't have anything, he might think that this is hot. But because he had already experienced it way up here, he was going like, I'm good. I can operate. I'm comfortable. I have a lot of bandwidth to operate in. And it seems like that is something that North Carolina could do for anybody that goes through it, to like push that extreme up to go, oh, when we get into an actual house fire, I know what my limits or where the go, no-go areas might be at.
Yeah, because they'll get it so hot. Like if you get into that thermal, like there's guys 2nd-degree burns, like blistering up on their back, ruin their gear. Like, it's not 130 degrees in there. Yeah, get lower. Get low, man. You feel that heat? Go get low. I guarantee you, it's cooler down there.
Yeah,
not much, but it's cooler.
Yeah, it's cooler.
There's spots where you like even the instructors are like laying on the side, like as low as they can. They've got like a piece of like drywall blocking them.
Yeah.
There's this place called Hell's Kitchen, and it's just what it sounds like.
Just nightmarishly hot. FDTN has that also. I heard it. I haven't been there. I heard it's absolutely unbelievable. But the instructors do the same thing. They're like either multiple coats or they're behind a wall to block that radiant heat.
Thermal shield.
Something.
But overall, I'd highly recommend North Carolina Clearing School, like because it showed me deficiencies in myself that I needed to work on when I got back. It's like areas. It's like, ooh, I can definitely improve in that. Is how to better communicate with your team when you're working under those environments, how much you can work in those environments, what's kind of like your limit for things, how to self-extricate. And the good thing they do there is they've had a lot of, especially like Charlotte area, they've had a lot of guys they built these drills off of them. And so they'll come and they'll speak to us about the incident and really bring it home after. And you're like, whoa.
So a close call or a line of duty, and then they say, hey, we here's how we were going to fix it, and then now we're going to insert into this school, and they talk to you.
And there's this guy named Jay, and his officer died in line of duty. He was with them, and he tells the story, man. There's not a dry eye.
Yeah.
Like you, I mean, he still gets choked up. It's been years since, but man, you feel the emotion. And he's like, I'll talk about it to anybody, because if it improves like performance or awareness, he's like, I will preach this to the day I die. And it's such a good course in that aspect. Like they really do a fantastic job, top to bottom.
Awesome.
So I finished up breathing school while I was still doing the recruit training instructor.
Okay.
Which was great. It's great for the recruits to see people in the department going and doing those things. And then once it was like 3 weeks later, we were back there with that group in Gaston County at the facility doing a lot of the similar stuff. So seeing them experience and leading them through that was a good thing.
Yeah.
So I finished up, they all graduated, and I decided to come back for a second round of recruit training instructor for the next class. And this class was a class of 30,
Big class.
So, and at the point I was like, man, with these two classes, that's like a fifth of our department. Like I've had a hand in helping shape like the culture for a fifth of the department that's going to be coming up. Right. And that's a very good privilege. And I'm super thankful for our training department for allowing us to be able to do that stuff and then pour into this new generation of firefighters. So I had the second class, and this second class had a lot more different personalities, and it was a tougher class to work with. Just found out a lot of HR stuff because I had to fire two guys, which I'm good with firing. And in fact, I run a free consulting for firing people. I will do it all the time. I love people that aren't good enough. I love telling them they're not good enough. It's like, hey man, you don't make the cut. You got to go. I did find out a few things HR wise though, about documentation and things like that. Like, because we had guys come in no heart, man. You can tell these guys that you're not going to make it. You're not going to be like a good, productive, efficient firefighter. You're going to be a liability to wherever you go. And you can't really quantify that for HR stuff. And our HR representative he's pretty good, man. He knows what we do. He's with us for the whole process. I talked to him a lot. I was like, man, what can we do for guys like this? He's like, I'll never forget. He looked at me. He's like, man, you can't fire somebody for being a bitch. This is HR talking to me. I was like, dang, you're right. He's like, but you can document where they're not performing to the standard.
Okay.
And so we had two guys that they just weren't cutting it. So we had to let them go, which I was happy to, because they weren't going to do well.
Right.
Like if you're not going to do well in the academy, you're not going to do well online, especially if you go to a slow station, you're only going to replicate the things you've been doing. Right. So if you're not like a guy that's a go-getter, you're not going to automatically become a go-getter at a station. Right. Unless you have somebody keeping you accountable, which that's one thing is the recruit training instructors we did. We kept those guys accountable. We held a high standard. That way, when they got online, they're just good, aggressive guys. Like, I forget what Jocko says, like default aggressive.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, I'd rather pull you back than drag you along.
Correct.
And so fire those guys. But in doing that, because we're doing so much teaching and stuff, promotion times came again. So how our department works is, at the time, you had to wait 5 years as a firefighter and get promoted. I was about 6 years in when I got promoted to engineer. And then I had spent a little over 3 years as an engineer. Engineer wasn't my favorite spot on the rig, because I'm not going interior anymore, right? I'm pulling levers on the rig. I'm outside for structure fires. That's not my thing. Some people are super good engineers. They know that pump. And, I strive to know that pump as well as I could, my rig as well as I could. Like, I took charge of it, but it wasn't really my gig, right? I felt like a placeholder.
Yeah.
So promotion came up, and I'd been getting myself ready, And luckily I've been with the recruit class for the last 2 years, teaching with these guys, talking, and kind of how our process works. We use Blue Card.
Familiar.
Yep.
We don't, but I'm familiar with it.
So we have like a fire problem we do. There's a management problem we do with HR, and then there's a teaching portion, and there's a few other things. And I'd basically been doing this stuff for the last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've been preparing myself very hard. Like I said, even from when I didn't get the opportunity to join the fire service the first time because of my interview skills, like I continued to practice at that kind of stuff, continued to learn how to communicate and speak with people and just convey the thoughts and ideas that I have in an understandable way. Mm-hmm. So I went in for this process and I was ready this time. Mm-hmm. And I actually was at the top of the list for this grade. Like I almost had a perfect score. And it's just, like I said, again, I'm thankful for the training department because everything I've been doing for the last year and the stuff I've been doing on the side had prepared me for that. Sure. And this was my goal. And I did it right before my 10-year mark. So okay. I hit that goal like in my head. So I got promoted the end of January of last year, or this year, actually, this year, 2025. Sure. And this last year's probably been the best year of my career.
Excellent. That was one of the things that we had trouble with. I said, hey, let's come in for December. And you were like, man, we probably could do it this past December. And you said we probably could do it, but let me get some time on as an officer and I'll have a little bit of a different experience to be able to talk about.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So like I said, it's been a great. And so we have lieutenants. So the process for lieutenants, and then you wait until a captain spot opens, and then you get bumped up depending on where you're at on the list. So if you're a lieutenant, you ride, we have squads, which is pickup trucks that just run medical calls, right?
Correct.
Help take some wear and tear off the rigs. These are fairly new for us, about 5 years. I didn't want to ride a pickup truck. I want to be on an engine, man. I just want to go interior.
Sure.
Like I want to do the Lord's work, just putting out fire. But I was like, man, I really don't want to. But I scored high enough, and we were hurting for captains already. So I got to go straight to a captain spot. I still had to finish like a task books and stuff for lieutenant before I got promoted. But my chief came to me and was like, hey, look, we got this spot here. At first, he put me on a squad that's at the hazmat station. Now, I didn't want to have anything to do with hazmat, right? But I respect that he came. To me, this was our assistant chief, and talked to me. He's like, hey, look, you did score high on the list. He's like, I've got an opening at Station 10, which is kind of a slower station, or I've got an opening as an officer on the engine at Station 5. I was like, and he's like, explain to me like your reasons for, because I had got off the hazmat team too. I failed to mention that because of the people there.
Sure. And
a lot of people kind of felt that way.
Right.
He's like, what were your issues before? Because he was a hazmat guy. I was like, and I named them all. I was like, these are my issues. It was the people, stuff like that, the leadership that was there to communicate, all that stuff. He's like, well, if you're an officer, you're the leader. There's no excuses now. I was like, yeah. He's like, you're not dealing with those people anymore. He's like, what do you want? I was like, I want to run calls. He's like, so where you want to go? I was like, I'll go to 5. He's like, and look, I'll do everything like I'm on hazmat. I was like, but I'll take my time and really see if that's what I want to do. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm telling you, like the first 2 months, like, so I get out there, the crew, like, so we got an engine, a truck, and a squad there. Mm-hmm. And the truck officer, his name's Jay, man. Solid dude, man. He's the yin to my yang. I can get super pumped up. He can help kind of mellow the mood, and like we're a perfect balance. Mm-hmm. Super good dude. He's aggressive about learning. So, man, we meshed instantly very well. The crew that was out there, actually 3 of them were from the classes that I was just a part of as an RTI. So I had one probie on my rig. There's one on the truck. And then a probie from the previous class was also on the truck. So that was...
They knew who you were?
Yep.
They knew your mindset?
Yep.
They knew you were essentially no bullshit?
And these were already candidates that were aggressive at the time, like good, solid, hard workers too. So
Sounds
knowing
like-
them, I got to choose the guy that came on my rig. So I from the last class, because I knew I was getting a rookie, and we choose where the rookies go. So I got to like kind of hand pick this big old goofy kid, super like heart's in the right place, like super good dude. But he needed some maturing and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I'm gonna get you with me. Yeah. We're gonna be at a station where you're gonna be running and seeing some stuff. Like this is gonna be good for you. So I get there and the crew is outstanding, right? We're gelling almost instantly. And then in a 2-month period, I think we had 4 structure fires, which is great. Like first
for us, that's a lot because we're not Jobtown.
Huh?
So for us, that's a lot because we aren't Jobtown.
Yeah.
Like we don't burn a whole lot in our city. So 4 in 2 months, that's some decent work. That's some decent work.
Man, I'm telling you, everybody was jealous of us for a while. They're like, anything good that came out, 5A shift got it. Like pin-ins, rollovers. We had, like I said, there's 4 structure fires where 2 of which were like really good, like good pushes inside, like it's blowtorching down the hallway. And like my guy's like, his eyes are this big. Yeah. Like just good stuff, right? So morale's just pumped up. And just learning how to, I forget what, again, I go back to like decentralized command, like stepping back a bit and leading the scene. That was probably been my biggest struggle so far this year because I'm so used to doing it. My old officer, man, he let me take charge and I was in there doing the work. And now like stepping back, be like, hey man, you need to do this. You need to do this while I manage the scene.
Good.
Because there was a call we had. I said we get a lot of vehicle versus pedestrian. Guy walking at night, all black clothes, gets smoked. We're there. He gets scalped like you can see the grooves on the road on his forehead. His leg was completely obliterated from the knee down. And at one point, I'm holding the guy's leg while my rookie's standing there. And I'm like, I'm not doing him any favors. I'm not doing the scene any favor. Like, all right, you need to be doing this. I need to be back here.
Right.
So that's kind of been a good adjustment for me to see. But it also the same. It's like, I just want to work. I just want to do it.
You're very aware though. There are captains that I have talked to throughout the throughout the city and throughout the history of the department. And one of them I love to death. I love this man to death. He's a DC, but he would frequently steal the nozzle from his firemen in some nefarious ways. I hope to have him on one day. He keeps refusing to come on, but I'm going to drag him in here one day. But that does you no good, right? If you want to be the good, aggressive, blah, 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 you're super fit, doing all the stuff. Okay, that rookie's going to spend, say, 2 or 3 years with you, and you're stealing the nozzle all 2 or 3 years. Then he promotes to driver, right? Yeah. And he doesn't do any nozzle work. And then he becomes a captain, and now he hands it back to his fireman.
Yep.
Well, he could go his whole fireman career and never have the nozzle. That is not how that is supposed to work.
No.
So I tell my guys, look, I could steal the nozzle from you. I will never do it because this is the time. This is your time to make a hallway push. This is your time to be bumped up and be, face on front with the, with the enemy, so to speak. But like, you got to pull back a little bit. And I'm glad that you realize that and you don't want to go super gung ho.
Yeah. It's some of that. Like I'll tell him, I was like, hey man, if you're being slow, somebody else is going to poach that nozzle from you. I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Like if you're not doing what you need to do, if you're not quick, if you're not efficient, you got freaking predators out here and they're looking to hunt. So
yeah,
like his first fire, he almost got it stolen from him.
Okay. So man, I could talk to you for another 6 hours, but I do want to tap on this when it comes to like just operationally as a captain. Do you have you guys come off first in? Or maybe second in, and it's a confirmed worker. Do you have them come off, mask on, gloves on, they're 100% ready to work, or do you have them mask off, get the assignment, stretch the line, throw the ladder, whatever they have to do, then do mask up drills?
So what we do typically, like if I'm first on scene, I'm command, right?
Okay.
So I am dictating what everyone else does. And like I said, in our house, we got the truck and we got the squad. So immediately, if we're there, I've got manpower to work with.
That's true.
Which
That's
is
a
very
different dynamic.
Yeah, which is very good. So I mask off, right? Because I got to see where we need a place and I need to assess the situation, right? They're pulling hose, like they're doing stuff while I'm doing my 360, and then we're at the door and we're going in, if that's what it calls for.
Okay. So
Right.
even on a confirmed worker, you tell your guys, Matt, we're not going in with a mask. We're not getting off the truck with a mask. We're gonna figure out what our assignment is. Then you guys need to be really good at mask ups. Is that something?
Yep. So we practice
okay.
doing that quick, efficiently, because the big thing, like for us, it's like here's humidity, right?
Mm-hmm.
You put that mask on and it's fogged up. So you getting off the rig and you can't see anything. I'm telling you, pull the hose and you're fighting with it.
Sure.
So you're not doing anybody any favors. You're not being efficient. How we operate.
Yeah, that's one of those. There's some things that me and you could talk about that we will 100% agree on for a long ways. But when you get into mask on, mask off, that's one of those tricky ones where even some of the best in the business literally don't agree for their own reasons.
And probably never will. Everybody's got their own opinion, about everything.
Yeah.
Like
smooth bore, fog. We can go down the.
I tell people, I was like, I don't care what I have.
Yeah.
Right. I don't care what type of lay in the back. I don't care what type of nozzle. I don't care. One, I'm going to adapt and overcome, right? But I'm going to train on whatever it is to become proficient with it.
Yeah.
So we only allow like one hose lay for our rigs. Like that's it.
On your cross lays, your
A
speed
Minuteman,
lays.
that's it.
Yeah.
Just
it's a great pick, by the way.
yeah. We
I know that you didn't- I
but
know
we
that you didn't
switched
pick
from
it.
something else. Yeah, it's like I don't care. Like there's some places where our old lays would have been more beneficial, but our command said, no. Hey, you got one option now. That's it.
Yeah.
Fine. We're going to train on it till we're good. We're efficient and
Minuteman's a good
proficient.
one. We like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, yeah. So I wanted to detour off of that. Okay, so we're moving down you're going down the captain thing. You got a good culture. You're starting to set up. I derailed you on what I was asking, but anyway, continue on.
So we had things going great at the station. We're running and gunning. We're catching calls. Like we I don't know how much Narcan you guys push, but we could have it on a holster and just freaking high noon it in the streets, like bang, bang, bang. In fact, our areas, we call it Narcanistan because of how there's a McDonald's right across the street from us that we go to once per tour, ripping people out of stalls. Just popping Narcan.
So I'll say this. I've worked in the rougher side of towns, and we didn't administer as much as I thought we would administer. I'll say that. We've administered a little bit, but it's not. When you told me, I remember about 5 years ago, you told me, dude, we run like 10 Narcans a hitch, or it was some crazy number. Whatever you told me, I was like, whatever overdoses.
Yeah.
We run X amount of overdoses. Like, yeah, we run overdoses, but not nearly as many. Even when we got Narcan, which has been in the last couple of years, it's still not the number. It's still not the number that y'all are running. I don't know what y'all are doing in Wilmington, but it's not good.
I don't know if it's the ports. Stuff comes down from New York or up from Miami. I don't know.
You just know that y'all are.
The police side, they'll tell me something, be like, yeah, we were a pretty high traffic area for a lot of stuff. And it just kind of spreads out from, but
anyway, I derailed you.
Yeah, no,
Narcan.
we're popping Narcan in, stuff like that. Like I said, we're running. The call volume is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
We are working. I've got some good aggressive guys like on my rig, some knowledgeable guys. Like we actually don't have any engineers at our station. It's all firefighters and senior firefighters, like riding up and stuff like that. So young, just aggressive guys that just want to work, want to train, and having 3 rookies at the station too, that kind of focused a lot of our training on that. Just getting back to basics and honing those skills.
Yeah.
So it's been like kind of everything I wanted. And the redemptive side is I'm back on the hazmat team. I'm running a lot of that hazmat stuff as an officer, facilitating training, but making the culture way better, making people want to, we just had a big transfer come out and we're kind of recruiting people for the hazmat because our numbers were really down for that special team.
Mm-hmm.
So basically pretty much soon all nine people at our station will be hazmat techs. The only person that won't will be the rookie that comes on that I'll get on the 30th of this month. So it's kind of like a little bit of redemptive stuff. And in fact, the lieutenant that's coming out there, he also got off the team, but he was so excited seeing like what we were doing out there at the station and the culture we were making. He's like, man, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Like I've had other officers call me and be like, hey, my firefighter is thinking about doing hazmat, but they want to come to your station and do it. Like that's a huge compliment for us. Like that's time. I mean, I don't want to say it's an ego boost, but we are actively trying to do the right thing because it's the right thing and to work hard and have fun, man. So like, that's a big part of the culture too. You got to have fun at the station. Like you got to have a good station environment. You got to keep people accountable.
Yeah. You've been, not only have you, we talked about it already. You've been in the stations where, the officer locks himself in one spot and everybody else locks themselves in a different spot and they just don't talk, right?
Yep.
You go, this is maybe for their personalities, maybe those 3 or 4 guys like to be locked away, and then they're just gonna hang together because that's their personality. But that's never where I want it to be. I want it to be training and pushing guys, either guys, not only me pushing guys, but guys pushing me.
Yeah.
Hey, what are we doing today? What are we training on? What's the fun thing of the day? I called my fireman for a while. I called him. I said, hey, I'll take care of the daily stuff that needs to get done, the training, and we're going to do the fitness side and the operational side. But I called him the cruise ship director. I was like, I'll dictate the day, the important stuff, and then you dictate the fun.
Yep.
So the training is so they would come in, hey, what's the training today? Well, we're going to do blah, 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 blah. We're going to knock out fitness at blah, 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 blah. And then I'd say, hey, then I would ask him, what we doing today? And it was pickleball, or it was like, hey, today's Call of Duty, or, pop darts, or, cards, or whatever the issue may be. But you had that fun component to me was so critical.
Yeah.
And I'm not with that crew. I hadn't been with that crew all year, but man, I loved working with those guys because of that dynamic.
Yep.
But it takes work to build it. It doesn't happen by accident.
It doesn't, man. And I tell people, it's like, if you can work hard and be proud of the work you do, and you can have fun doing it, that's where the passion's going to be right there. That will keep you at this job when like the calls get bad. You see the darker side of humanity when you're running these things. Things are going bad at the house, but that'll keep your passion there. It's like, hey, I know when I'm at the station, I'm doing good work. So mentally, like I'm performing well, and then I'm also having fun with the guys. Like I got guys that are going to pull me out of it. Like they're gonna harass me a little bit. They're gonna make fun, but
right,
I'm gonna have a good time. Maybe we're gonna go get ice cream or play pickleball. We had a big Nerf war in our station one time, like on a slower day. Like just it's like, hey, you know what? Let's get the Nerf guns out. And so, like me and the other captain, like we brought a bunch in and we just shot each other.
There's a certain station within our department that'll go unnamed, where one of their common things, not on my crew, that will turn the lights out. They do Nerf wars, and they turn every single station light out, and they get in their socks, and they stalk around with almost zero viz, right? So it's not just you're running around blasting. It's like a sneak game of finding each other to shoot darts. I haven't participated. I think it's hilarious, but it's not. But my point is, back to the culture of just having a blast, having fun within the job. You're also doing the job. You're earning the day. Yeah. And you're earning it.
That's a good way to put it. Earning the day. I like that.
You're doing the physical fitness. You're taking care of your training. You're taking care of whatever admin's got for you. But then you've earned hey, let's have some fun. There's gonna be there's gonna be a fun component where we're gonna get together and do something, which I absolutely love. Absolutely love that.
Yeah. And so we just had a big transfer. Promotional process came in again. Like my firefighter that was riding out of position, he actually got promoted. He made top of the list. I'll brag on him. He worked hard, made top of the list. And so he's getting promoted in place at the station, which is pretty rare. They usually send people out.
What's his name? Give him a shout out. Guys love when you give him shout outs.
Kalen Jack.
Okay. Yeah. Cause he's going to watch it. He's going to watch it. Yep. He's going to be so proud that you
got
said his
him.
name.
I got a guy named Alex Prokorenko.
Yeah.
He's just a real aggressive, like he's kind of a northern guy. So he's real boisterous.
Yeah.
But he's one of those guys. He's the definition of good initiative, bad judgment. Like he's one of those guys. Like I got to pull back.
If you shout a guy out, you can't.
No,
kick him.
that's good. I told him that when I sat him down because he would always get a reputation kind of being like a hothead, and I was like, it's because people just don't know where you're coming from. Like you're being aggressive, you're doing work, but there's probably a better way to go about it sometimes. And he's like, yeah, that's me 100. I was like, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
All gas, no brakes. Huh?
But and both these guys are super knowledgeable. They're both EMT instructors with me. They're hazmat techs. They're rescue guys too. Like they work and they earn their spot
into it.
And then now we just had the transfer out, so I'm gonna be getting a new rookie. My last one, he's going on to a different station. We're getting a new lieutenant, like I said. He's coming out. I'm super excited about
what's coming.
Our crew in this next, because it's just studs.
Yeah,
just good, aggressive guys. And we got one girl at the station, she's a woman at the station, and she's super awesome. Her name's Torres, bilingual, super aggressive girl. And she brings a lot of fun and like calm to the station. And then we also got a new member, which is we got a station dog.
Station dog, Dalmatian or no?
No, so we partner with Paws for People, and for like therapy stuff.
Okay.
And so we try to keep 2 therapy dogs per shift. And so one of the guys just went through all the training, and we got a black lab named London. And so there'll be 11 of us at the station coming up.
It's awesome. I'm so pro dog in the station. It's not even funny, dude.
Oh,
you don't think that dog can get love 24/7? He's going to be up on the couch with the boys.
Yeah. Well,
like,
so they go home with the. He'll come, he'll work shift, then he'll go back.
He'd go back.
But each shift has 2.
Okay.
And so they'll be at certain stations with certain handlers and stuff like that. But man, it's awesome.
all 4 dogs in the station. So we're gonna start to tie it up. I'm gonna ask you my last 2 questions that I ask. I try to ask every guest. I have not been perfect on it, but I'm gonna ask you last 2 questions. But I will say that we talked about this previously. Your other topics lists down the list: fitness in the fire service, sleep, nutrition, good calls, bad calls, mental health outlets. Every single one of those is an hour. And I said, Ty, you know I love you, but we're going to go 6 hours if we go down this path, which I do want to. So I want to bring you back possibly maybe next year, maybe when you swing back around for Christmas. If this thing is still going, let's sit back down and we'll cover those, because that's a whole there's so much good stuff in there. We talked about fitness for long periods of time. Mental health is extremely important, but I don't want to dip my toes in and either A, go for 6 hours, or B, not do it the justice that it really needs to be done. So I'm gonna pull you back. But I do want to talk about
I understand. I mean, you guys, you've seen throughout this thing, I can just continue to ramble on.
And I want you to, but we're going to let you ramble. Yeah. We're going to let you ramble on another episode. So the 2 topics, the 2 questions that I try to always ask is, the first one is, if you could do this over again, you're fixing to start the fire service up again, knowing what you know now. And it's not like, asking this to a 33-year guy, 35-year guy is a little bit different. But if you could do it all over again and give yourself one piece of advice to make it better, make it less rocky. I don't want to say make it easier, because that's really not a great thing, but make it smoother. What advice would you give your rookie self?
My rookie self, I know exactly what it is. It's actually a verse from the Bible. It says, "This too shall pass." Like if you're having a good assignment, that's gonna go away one day. Fire service change. You have a bad assignment in a short amount of time, that's gonna go away. Just the nature of our department. We switch around so much and stuff like that. You don't like this area, guess what? That's gonna change. So those times where I was really like, didn't even feel like I wanted to come to work anymore because of the crew. It's like, you know what? It's not permanent. This too shall pass. Just stick with it. Do what you need to do the right thing. And it'll get better. It'll get better until I get in a spot where I can dictate kind of how things go.
Good. I like that a lot. Quite relevant. The other thing that I'm going to ask is, I'm a big mentor person. I love guys that invest and pour themselves in to other guys to make their fire service career better, right? I love the guys that are proactive and trying to go above and beyond when they don't have to make them better. Do you have any mentor or a mentor or mentors that have, once again, this is the above and beyond guy. This is the guy you're calling on the side. This is the guy, hey, I don't know what to do about this. This is like your go-to, and he's going to spend 3 hours talking to you about how to help you out. Do you have that guy or multiple?
There are a few. I mean, there's guys I can think off the top of my head right now. If I need advice or if I'm in a training rut or just stuff at the station that I can call to, like, and they're going to answer, they're going to chat with me, they're going to talk, they're going to kind of guide me. Got a few people like that I always look to for inspiration, like the captain I was talking about. It's like our David Goggins. Like, I'm like, man, he's almost 60 and he still can smoke everyone in our department. Like, he's just an absolute machine. If I need to know how to like treat people, my captain I just left, like, how would he respond to this situation? Like,
all right, Ty, but the point of this is to say those names out loud so that you can give them the recognition that I think that they deserve.
Our David Goggins is Jason Gray.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah. He looks like David. I'll show you a picture later. Like, you'll be like, oh, they could be cousins or something.
Yeah.
Channing Hatcher, who's my old officer, man. I can go to him or think it's like, what would he do or how would he handle this situation? Like, he was at times firm but fair, right? He gave some grace sometimes. He made correction. And as long as you were doing your job, hey man, he'd give you reins to work. Mike Lee, he's a guy. He's a captain at our headquarters station. I think he's going to be promoted to battalion chief or try to soon. Solid dude I can call. Like, hey man, I'm having some. This is going on. What do you think? A bunch of guys from my class. Nick Shepard, man, he is a truck guy. Yeah. He actually just got promoted to lieutenant. He fantastic guy. He is just. If you need truck work done, that's the man that I want to see, right? He will break through a brick wall. He will ladder every place and position on the fire ground. Jay James is my co-captain at the station. Yeah, man, we chat all the time. Now he's a good sounding board for ideas and bouncing stuff off of. And then the lieutenant that we're about to get, his name's Andy Kotz. I've known him for a while. Very smart. We call him Professor Kotz. Very analytical. Like, if I got like technical questions and stuff like that, this is the guy I go to.
I like that, and I like saying the names.
Yeah,
because I think it's helpful that guys know that they are mentors. Because if you don't ever tell them, right? Let's say you had those feelings that, man, these guys would just stand out, but you never really said it. That they might not know the impact that they have. And it does two things. I think a lot puts them in a position where they're going to continue to try to reach out, because if you're reaching out to them, I promise you, you're not the only phone call they're getting. Yeah. There's multiple guys that are probably using them for the same, and it's energy. It takes energy to talk to guys and pour into them. And if you got to do that multiple times, a bunch of times, it can be a little bit draining. So I think it's important to recognize those guys. And then the second thing that I think it does is it lets other guys in the fire service know, even though your name might not have been mentioned, that I want guys to strive to that level of mentorship, to say, hey, pour into your guys, because I bring on people all the time that talk about how important mentors are. Yep. So I want other people to step into that role I don't want to say if they're ready for it, but if they have the ability to. I want them to pour into the guys below you and give them something. And I think that's why it's important to not just say, yes, I have mentors and they're important, but these are the guys that I rely on. And I do want to spotlight them to say they're important to me. And once again, I want other guys to potentially step into that role when they're ready. I have no idea about who you're a mentor for, but I can promise you, we could probably even talk about it off camera, but I promise you that there's guys that reach out to you that are looking to you for advice and looking up to you to say, man, this is the guy that I want to be like, but maybe they haven't said it out loud yet, right? Maybe maybe they have, but my point is, you might be that potential next guy. Those guys poured into you, and then at some point you're pouring into them. And hopefully that change just continues down. So I think for me, that's an important segment. Maybe not for everybody, but damn it, it's mine. So I'm gonna make it mine.
Yeah.
So, all right. Final thoughts. We're gonna before we wrap this thing up. Once again, we're gonna hold off those other topics. I think they are important. I do want to hear from you on that side. But final thoughts before we wrap it up.
Now, about what in general? Just
anything that you want to talk about.
Anything.
I'm saying not on the other topic, just like you want like a little closing statement. We're going to have you back on. So,
and the thing is, just if you're in the fire service, we are called to serve, right? Not only the citizens in our community, but each other, man. Treated like family, like the guy to your left. They're not just another employee, they're my family. They're responsible for my health and safety, right? I always ask the guys, it's like, are you an asset or a liability today? And hopefully the answer is always an asset, right? Give yourself some grace. You're going to fail. And that's part of coming back.
Yeah.
The adapting and overcoming. Okay. I'm insufficient at this. This is what I need to work on. Good. That's going to eat up my day now. I've got something to work on. And just, man, do the right thing. Just small stuff. Like, hey, we just got back from a call at 2:00 in the morning. Fuel's low. I'm going to save it for the next shift to get, or am I going to do the right thing? The right thing's not always the easy thing, but it's the right thing.
Right.
Right. So like my guy's like, sir, I was like, that's the right thing, man.
Yeah.
Do I want to go get it right now? I'm tired. I want to sleep. No, but we're going to do it. Right. We're on scene. We get assignment that we don't like. What are we going to do? We're going to do the right thing, and we're going to go do that assignment the best we can. So.
All right.
That's it, man.
Excellent. Well, let's have you back on. There's a lot more in your head. There's a lot more conversations that I know we can have once again from that old.
Yeah, I got some good fun calls I could share. That could.
We actually skipped over it. You had fun calls and all. I'm like,
I can talk probably hours. I could be a whole.
Well, the next time when we have this next year, we'll have all of our topics. So I'll be ready. So it'll be calls, crazy calls, and then it'll be fitness, sleep, nutrition, mental health outlets, the whole gamut. And we'll have a whole nother 2 hours to knock out on round 2. So
fantastic, man.
Ty, thank you for sitting down to join me. I know you could have done this remote, and it was important that we got. You said it was, hey, let's make sure this thing gets done face to face. So I'm glad you could join us. And thank you, and we'll see you. I guess I'll see you at the next family event.
Yeah, man. Thank you for what you're doing and pushing forward and just giving voice to some people that are doing cool, awesome things and just awareness in the fire service about stuff.
My pleasure, man. I truly enjoy it. If I didn't, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because there ain't no money in it.
I see what you're doing. It's hard work.
It is hard work.
For low pay.
Zero pay. So, all right. That's going to wrap the next episode, and appreciate y'all watching. Thank you, Ty.